Department of Forestry. So sustainability, ecology preservation, environment protection, we are going to see importance. So we are expecting befitting the valedictory message from the Professor of Forestry, in fact. Then Professor Valan Chowna, he doesn't require any introduction, especially he's part of a family member of our school and is a professor of economics. So from the teacher of economics, we are expecting a good valedictory message. And just as opening remarks, I want to highlight 3 cases. They are like 3 case studies, recent case studies. We speak so many things on the platform, and our governments claim so many things as their achievements. They try to inject certain narratives into the minds of the people, but I just want to take 3 examples where as India, because nowadays we are talking about Vikasit Bharat 2047, and we are saying that we are in the Amrit Kaal, and maybe 24 hours, maybe 22, 24 years we have to wait to become a developed nation. Is Vikasit Bharat a vision of the government of India, or would it remain as a mere slogan like many statements? That we have to wait and see. From that context, I just want to highlight 3 case studies. One is about the recent Supreme Court judgment about the electoral bond scheme. And this scheme was first introduced in 2018 by the government, and the basic purpose of this scheme is to cleanse the system of political funding in India. We all know there are 2 countries. America is the oldest democratic country, whereas India is the largest democratic country. There are some similarities between these 2 nations. But as far as cost of electioneering is concerned, I think the costliest election that is taking place is in India, but not America. Though ours is a developing nation, though America is a developing nation. And so, very recently Supreme Court, the 5-bench constitutional bench, this particular scheme was struck down by the Supreme Court on the ground that it may lead to quid pro quo, and it may lead to crony capitalism. And Supreme Court also mentioned that by March 6th, today, by March 6th, the State Bank of India, which is responsible for collection of this funding from different parties, they have to submit their list to the Election Commission of India, and by March 30, within a week, it is the responsibility of Election Commission of India to publish the list of the donors to various political parties on their website. But just a couple of days back, I saw a news item in the newspaper that State Bank of India wanted to postpone it till June 30th, I think. June 30th. But by that time elections will be over and the voters will be denied of their right to information. Then the spirit of the judgment will be defeated. That is one case study I just want to highlight, right? Because it is about social responsibility. Our political parties are socially responsible or not. And in the name of schemes, if we want to do something, if the courts take 6 to 8 years of time to deliver judgments, in the process, what would happen to the fabric of democracy in the country? That is my question. And the second case which I want to highlight is, it is about the Forest Conservation Act. Originally that act was, forestry professor is there, originally that act was enacted in 1980, and very recently it was just in 2023, last parliament elections, in last parliamentary session, budget sessions, it was amended. And against that amendment, and some retired civil servants, including two secretaries of Environmental Ministry. They filed a bill, public interest litigation in the court. Their argument is, this amendment is going to distort many Supreme Court judgments which were already being delivered in order to protect forest area. And some of the northeastern states, including Mizoram, those states, they raised their concern. And according to this amendment, 100 kilometers radius area on the borders, right? They remain as out of the purview of forest, and private agencies, including companies and corporates, they are free to use that particular area for commercial purpose. That is the purpose of the Act. And I don't know when the Supreme Court will hear this particular petition and when the judgment will see the light. That is the third case. That is the second case. And the third case study which I want to highlight is about the Char Dham project. This is an example of, and many environmentalists, many geologists, they mentioned this is an example of unsustainable development model. The Char Dham project, it would involve constructing of all-weather roads to the tune of 900 kilometers. And we all know this is Uttarakhand is part of Himalayan region, and CDP, Char Dham project, is going to be a dangerous project and fatality induced. And the Himalayas, they don't belong to only India. Himalayan region also cross 4 other countries. So there are two fundamental questions about this project. So in the name of tourism, in the name of development, in the name of generating of income, what kind of policies we are making? That is my question. So how the Indian Himalayan region could withstand the burden of heavy infrastructure projects such as CDP? That is one thing. And how much tourism, how many roads, how much cutting of mountains, how much dumping of the debris into the river is good for the environment, the sensitive, fragile, ecology there. That is a question raised by the experts. Second point is 900 kilometer long project has been divided into 53 sections. Otherwise, as per our own regulatory bodies, like environmental regulatory bodies, they are not going to give permission for this particular project covering 900 kilometers. So, intelligently, smartly and cleverly, what they did is, they divided this into 53 divisions, and for each division they issued one particular certificate. It's okay like that. So is it not, is it not going to affect, because we all know in last November, some people were trapped in Uttarakhand tunnel, and it is frequently happening, right? Then is it not compromising so much at the cost of ecology, sustainability, and what kind of social responsibility the so-called the agencies and so-called policy-making bodies have? This is another question. And just one more minute I will take. And environmental performance index, that is the index. And in this rating, in these rankings, we all know India is a highly religious country, and we all know that we have a lot of history and a lot of India is the birthplace of 4 religions, right? And we are all God-fearing people, and we all know that Indians not only worship the gods, Indians worship Mother Nature in the form of rivers, trees, wildlife, right? So we try to see godliness and divinity in everything, especially in the Mother Nature. But as far as environmental performance index is concerned, this is the index, and they try to assess how the country is, responsible and responsive for preserving and protecting the environment. So we call it EPI, Environmental Performance Index, and in this, out of 180 countries, India is the least country. So what we are trying to preach and what we are practically doing, there is a wide gap. So just I want to raise these larger three issues in the context of social responsibility, sustainability, and innovation. So what kind of social responsibility we have and what kind of sustainability and we are seeking for. So these are some larger questions I want to raise just as my opening remarks, and without taking much time. Now I request Dr. Caroline, and she will just coordinate the felicitation of our guests.